Feeling safe in an unsafe world, feeling that, like I said, just that safe inner child environment, that realm of peace. And there are a lot of agents of chaos out there. There's a lot of agents of chaos. And it's because they've been through shit and they get triggered just like you get triggered. And when you got two triggered people in a moment, man, it is not pretty.
Roll me, Mac.
What's something you commonly wouldn't admit as a man? Okay, well, commonly wouldn't admit as a man. How do I want to go about this? So, how much, I'll say how much that I'd say throughout my life that I love, right? And the idea of love, not so much probably what the act of it is, if that makes sense. Seeing many different forms of love and being afraid of the versions that you were taught, and anything remotely that reminds you of it, run like hell. So hypersensitive. Yeah, hypersensitive. And if it makes any sense for anybody that has followed the show, and obviously, you know, my disdain about, you know, the concept of women who operate in their masculine. It's more so about what I receive by women who tend to operate in their masculine. The lack of respect that comes with being a man. Everything that is given on this platform is to give men a fighting chance at being respected when it comes to dealing with the opposite sex, or same sex for that matter. But just really understanding like the very thing that more than likely I've craved all my life is the very thing that scares the shit out of me. Yeah, I think that's something, admission, if you will, to kind of share about it is when you almost come up with lack of that nurturing presence. You know what I'm saying? More so raised on that Debo shit. Stop acting like a bitch and come on. You know, like when you've been kind of brought up in more of that frame of mind. And that's never been a problem to stand there and just move on and just be strong and shit. But where does the nurturing aspect of love come into play? That is the question. I mean, the way that I was programmed, I would give any woman that I had a feeling for, an affinity for, whether that be women in the family, a girlfriend, or shit like that, I would do just about anything for you. The issue that came about was when you were treated less than. And this is what you called love. This is something that you just accepted. You just kept taking it and taking it, believing that shit was going to change. This idea to work for love, which was very familiar to childhood, where you feel like you had to work for the physical aspect of love. I don't mean love in different ways, like buying shit, making sure that we were cared for, roof over our head. Yes, that version of love. What I'm talking about is the physical and emotional aspect of love that was not necessarily so present. And one thing to keep in mind is that the common statement is that I'm not able to give you what I didn't have. But it's about cycle breaking and understanding what it means to be loved and to offer love, and not so much just feel like a sucker because of it, which is the common case for some of us when it comes to engaging in such. So fearful, sure. Care for people, without a doubt. The issue has never been, I don't believe for me, I speak solely from my perspective, is that the issue has never been like my care for others. It's more so trusting them with me, because I know the lengths in which I will go, even from a toxic standpoint. Now, yes, that's ego. That's ego speaking, because there's fear. And ego lives in fear. The soul lives in love. I know this. I'm aware of this. But to be in a situation where you do your best to not run away with this fantasy idea of what love is, somehow you do. And then there's this nice reminder that life and the present moment will give you to show you how you want to be treated, how you don't want to be treated. And after a while, you just learn as a person, as a man, hell, even as a woman, how you don't want to engage with people based on behavior. And that piece is just far more important. You want to believe that the concept of love in your mind, which is all an illusion, can be experienced in the present. But the thing about it is that you only have your perspective when it comes to love. Only yours. You don't have the other person that you may have an affinity for or love for doesn't necessarily have the same mindset as yours. So when your perspective doesn't align with her or his perspective, how do you then interpret that? Do you interpret that she doesn't love you because she doesn't love the way you do? And vice versa, right? So, like, the common thing I'll see within myself is this wall I'll meet. Allow yourself to get but so vulnerable. And then trigger comes about. A trigger comes. Sometimes a trigger stronger than others, a very familiar trigger of something that you felt before. And then it's like, I've seen this. I'm literally reliving. I'm taking the same test until I pass it. What is that strategy of passing this test? Do you just go through with it the same way, or do you alter it, or do you walk away from it altogether? And that walking away part, I think that's I believe that's the struggle for me. A lot of times I've stayed too long in situations I was meant to walk away from, but I'm also very stubborn. So there's this constant, flow in the mind that I would find myself into, where is this the universe testing me how bad I want it, or is it testing me how much I love myself, or is it both? A lot of times I find myself being very deer in the headlights when it comes to that, because there's a lot of I don't know. Honestly, man. Who really knows how to love effectively? We all believe that our love is the right way, and I believe that's the ego, but it's like, what really is love? Yeah, you see people, they have their moments. You see people getting married. You see people in relationships, and outside looking in and looking at people's Facebook posts, Instagram posts, TikToks, and whatever, you would believe that they are so much in love. And until you have a conversation with these people, or you have these very same people that are in relationships trying to talk to you on a more intimate level. So it's like, if this is what we want, this love, then why are we doing this? That's something that I constantly keep in mind, and it's those things I think about, the distractions that come about in this life that we live, man, and options are plentiful. Those options, man, they definitely cloud our judgment at times. And you question, what is love really about? What does that mean? Like I said, just wanting something so bad, right? But the thing is that it doesn't operate just solely from you. It takes other people. And I know for sure, like from a work standpoint, I believe that I am a team player. Yeah, I believe I'm a team player when it comes to that. I have no problem doing my part, pitching in and being part of the team. When it comes to, I believe when it comes to relationships, that a lot of what I've endured, trauma, just the idea of shit, the illusions and all of that, you can forget that it's not just you in it. And you have this idea of how things are to be. But there's another person that's involved. Now, granted, you want to be with a woman who can get on your program, for sure, that allows you to lead and trust you to lead and all that stuff. But even then, she has her own desires, her own goals, her own inputs, her own contribution that she'd like to give to that bond, that relationship, that's that union. And when two people, have this idea, you have an idea of what love is, right? I mean, the way you view love at like when you're in your teens is different from how you view love in your 20s. If you're fortunate enough to get married in your 30s, and and especially learning how to look at it through, past 40 and all that stuff, man. There's so many factors so many factors that go into play, and the illusion. And I believe that for me is removing the illusion, the idea you have of love. And sometimes, man, you get around certain spirits that just there's something about them. And then you have this idea, they trigger something of this fictitious Disney world, this Disney type love that you once thought about all your life. And then they do something that snaps you out of that illusion. And then you question, was that love for her, or was that for the idea of love and the idea of her, you know? And I say that admitting that as a man is just basically feeling like I don't know exactly what is effective when it comes to love. I don't. I do my best every day to try to, I do my best to try to focus on peace and focus on how to love myself and focusing on me. Because if I can start there, then maybe I'll have some leeway there. But that feeling, man, of being snapped out of the illusion and then trying to figure out, is that what you've been doing all this time? Have you been running away with the idea of these women that girls, when you're little, obviously as an adult women, are you stuck in this toxic cycle of trauma, right? And as long as they play their role that they did not know they had the script to, everything's okay. But when they do something that is outside of said role, that's not in the script that you had, that they didn't have, how then do you feel? How then do you learn how to love someone? Is it healthy for you? Is not getting what you want mean they're not treating you fairly? You know what I mean? I look back at a lot of I'll say, my ways from childhood and how they creep into adulthood, and ask myself, is that what this is? You being told no, does that mean I don't love you? Is that how you're interpreting this in so many words? You're not getting what you want at that particular time. Does that mean that that person doesn't love you? And I say that, this whole thing for something, the topic of the question, like, as a man, can you admit? And it's just like admitting that I don't really know much about love effectively. I don't believe, and that's, and what I mean by that is more so that I don't know enough to tear it down. I don't know enough about it to think I know everything about it. But it's the concept of learning it and trying to learn yourself. I take on this whole concept, right, of just learning what it is to be respected as a man in an attempt to find a healthy, effective love. So understanding what it means to be masculine, understanding what it means to be, to use your feminine energy when you're engaging with women, depending on what that scenario is, that will enable you to relate, but you don't live in it. You don't live in that feminine energy, because then she'll have to live in her masculine energy. So it's just finding that balance, right? Finding that balance, and then engaging with people that you love who also have gone through shit just as much as you've gone through trauma and shit. But for her, her survival default is that of operating in the masculine. So now there's a clash. Now there's, now there's two rams in the room, and there's only room for one masculine, there's only room for one feminine, and both of y'all gotta decide what that means. You know, it's just like I said, it's just a challenge, man, because all in all, we all just want to be seen, heard, and loved, and we just have these different strategies, man, amongst ourselves as people, and wanting to feel like, for me, wanting to feel that softness. I believe that's really what that is, man. You showed me, you showed me that soft side, and there's nothing I won't do for you. And when you feel the need to, like I said, show that what I believe is, just tough side, like you're constantly on a defense and you're constantly, aggressive and shit, and it obviously it's a turn off, but it's deeper than that. It's deeper than just the attraction aspect of it. It's like, why do we feel the need to even have to do that? I think that's more so the bigger key for me, is that how do we even get this way, man? Because I don't believe we were born like such. I believe that young boys were, I believe boys are born with like a set of aggression, and somehow or another it gets diminished, and then women are born. I believe little girls are born with that softness, right? And then life just hardens the fuck out of it, man. And then it's like it's like Hook, It's like Peter Panning trying to find out how to become Peter Pan again, finding his inner child. Now, I think I believe that's what's missing, and that's what I can admit as a man, it's remembering, trying to find that inner child again, trying to find that safety. I believe that's what my disdain, I truly believe that's what my disdain is with that of operating around, being around women that operate in their masculine. It's like, it gets me further away from finding that sense of safety. But interesting enough, a lot of those women that operate in their masculine protect the shit out of you. And it's like being so hell-bent on having that soft protection that even exists, right? Feeling safe in an unsafe world, feeling that, like I said, just that safe inner child environment, that realm of peace. And there are a lot of agents of chaos out there, a lot of agents of chaos, and it's because they've been through shit and they get triggered just like you get triggered. And when you got two triggered people in a moment, man, it is not pretty. It's not pretty at all. And they're no longer in the room with the adult versions of themselves. They're in the room with the person that caused them pain originally. And sometimes that gets projected, And it's not to be taken personal. That's the thing to remember. It's like nothing anyone does is about you. Whatever I'm doing is about me. Your response to it is about you. So yeah, when you get triggered, when you find yourself in that feeling of not feeling safe, not feeling like I'm in a safe place to operate and function, then now you have to, that's when that ego comes out. The ego is there to protect you. So our ego creates some of our ego had to create this angry ass person. This and it's fear. Behind anger is fear. So creating this person filled with so much fear that hopefully it would scare the shit out of whoever was around us, so that we would be protected, literally like a dog. It's like trying to give a dog a shot or a needle, something, you know what I mean? Trying to give a dog medicine, and if they really don't want it, they're gonna bare their teeth at you. And it's fear. It's fear. And that's something I'm also willing to admit as a man is, living in through those fears when that ego is present. and trying to find the soul, because there's no fear. There's no fear in the soul. It's just solid all the way around, and that's how you know who's running the show. That's how you know when little wounded inner child you is driving, or when you're that hot shot thinking you the shit ego is driving. But the soul just is, man. It just loves. It doesn't want to prove itself to anything. It doesn't feel like it needs to do anything, to be anything, because it just is. And I believe there's a lot of confusion that some of us have gone through when it comes to love, as far as what that even means. I believe love is clear. I believe love is, it's a straight line. I think all that crooked shit is all rooted in what fear, ego, distractions, illusion, all of that shit comes into play. But love is just an act, right? It's an action word, as far as like what you display and doing shit for people that can't do shit for you. Love, like, I believe the true act of love, is unconditional. But there are a lot of conditions we come with, whether we know it or not. And it's like trying to find that fine line of like understanding unconditional love and unconditional tolerance. Is it easy? No, I don't believe so. I don't believe it is, especially for hypersensitive individuals who've gone through shit and is looking for anything to protect itself. Struggle. But I mean, that's something that I can admit as a man. The struggle when it comes to dealing with that of love, the fear, and those two worlds. Bouncing back and forth between living in love and then living in fear. But yeah, I mean, that's something. I believe that's something that I commonly wouldn't admit as a man. What is the belief or tradition you were raised with that you intentionally unlearn or let go of? Being judgmental. Yeah, being judgmental, believing that if you don't believe in this particular religion, then that makes you a bad person. Now, that's not exactly what was said. That might have been like an indirect implication. You know what I'm saying? And I do my best to try to allow people just to be themselves. I don't want anyone around me to believe that they have to be a version of something in order to be accepted. Yes, I know. I do prefer women to operate in their fucking feminine. So yes, if their default is masculine, it's uneasy. All I'm saying is I'm not attracted to it. But as far as like, if that's you, I might not be attracted to you, but I want, I don't believe I'm better than you because you're this, or, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that, if that makes sense. But for me, I grew up feeling that, like a sense of judgment. Like if you smoke weed, you're a bad person. Or if you, I don't know, if you're gay, then, you're shunned and shit like that. And I mean, personally, there's enough life to go around. And, you being gay ain't got shit to do with me. If anything, that leaves more women for me. Unless you're a woman and you're gay, now we in competition, but it's friendly competition. I say that in joking, but in all seriousness, like that there of feeling like your life is so important that you can tell this person how to live it. Nah, you just live your life the way you want to. There's enough life to go around, man. There's people doing shit on the other side of the world that we know nothing about right now. Hell, it's people in your city that are doing things differently than how you do it. Doesn't bother you because you don't think about it. But I mean, that's what I tried to unlearn throughout my adult life. I did my best to try to not be so judgmental. Now, deciding what's for your life and what's not for your life, I'm not going to say, I don't classify that as judgmental. You know what I'm saying? It's more preference and shit like that. Like, I avoid the unhappy and the unlucky. I mean, very much so that I am about having my peace, and I will defend my peace at all costs. And sometimes having peace comes with a cost, right? Removing yourself, removing people from your life when they just constantly want to project their insecurity, their pain. And it's nothing personal. It's just that you don't have, it's not your job to fix it. It's not your job to fix people coming into your life and just want to be, you know, Debbie Downers. That's not for you. That's, you know, let them sit in their pain. We can look at life in two different ways, man. We can look at life from always finding, you know, spotting the negatives, or we can accept the negatives and then be grateful for what we have. And some people just really do love being victim. They really benefit a lot in this life by portraying themselves as a victim. We don't have to be around it. We don't have to be around people that make life sound unbearable. You know, we don't have to say shit. Number one, we can just be calm. We can be at peace. We can live the way we wish to live, and without affecting somebody else. I don't have to tell you, oh, what you're doing is wrong. You know, you making the chicken wrong or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? That's not for me to say. If you want help and assistance to try to improve it or something like that, if you believe it, great. But if how you season your chicken is how you season your chicken, then that's how you season your chicken. And a lot of people believe they season their chicken a lot better than you. And you come across them in life, man, like, oh man, he doesn't really know what the fuck he's doing. And I think we all have a way of doing that. And ego will find a way to sneak in. Like, ego is that motherfucker always trying to get in the club. You know, just sneaking in VIP. Just I got to be there. It's got to be about me. And the best thing to do is to try to monitor that. Is to be very mindful of who's driving. Is what I'm saying backed by my ego? Is this backed by the soul? But yeah, unlearning that whole thing of believing that, yeah, like I say, you know, looking at our family, if you hiding your homosexuality, I don't believe there's a reason to do so any more than I have to hide my heterosexuality. You know, like we're just as human. I'm no more human than you are. And if that's what you choose to do as far as to smoke, why do I need to shun you for something that you wish to do? It's never, marijuana hasn't done anything but gotten people arrested for it, but it hasn't done anything. Marijuana ain't gonna make you want to kill anybody. You know what I mean? I don't believe you get lung cancer from it. That's my ignorance talking right there if it does, but I don't believe it does. So what exactly is it doing? I believe you've just been programmed that, oh, you smoking that reefer, or that, you know, you're smoking that weed, or whatever term that your family refers to it as. Use it as a means of shaming someone. And I don't believe that we have to do that. Like I said, you can live your life however you wish to live it. You can go over there and do whatever the fuck you want to do. You just don't have to project it onto me. You can, like I said, you can worship whoever you wish to worship. And how many gods you wish to have, all of that stuff. It is not for me to say that you're wrong because you don't think the way I do. I don't know enough about life to be a pessimist. I don't know enough to say that I'm living the right way and you're living the wrong way. Me personally, that's whatever anybody else does, whatever anybody else's religion teaches them to do. by all means, if that's what you believe, I respect that you believe that. But I do my best to focus more on like the acceptance of that and just be peaceful, you know what I'm saying? Have a good time while you still can, because there's no telling when this is all going to be over for any of us, man. Just living life the way you see fit, as long as it doesn't, as long as it don't hurt anybody, that thing, like I said, that thing there, if not, of feeling like you have to hide who you are. And why is that? Shunning, shaming. So many, all of us are, a lot of us are wearing a mask, pretending to be something so that we can be accepted, validated, if you will. We're trying to be validated by the people around us. But why do I need to judge you? It's not my place to do it. Who are you to judge me, and who am I to judge you? I get it. Parents rearing their children, that's something different. You want to give them, you want to put them on a path for success. But you also want to allow them to think the way that they would like to think as they get older. Now, younger is different, but as they get older, trying to figure out the things that they're into, giving them an opportunity to find out what that is, instead of saying, no, you're going to be a pastor, or no, you're going to be a doctor, no, you're going to be a lawyer. And they want your love so bad that they'll do it. But what about that unconditional love when you do something that I don't want you to do? Do you still love me because I am your child? Do you still love me because I'm gay? Do you still love me because I smoke? Do you still love me because I struggle with alcohol? Do you still love me because I struggle with porn? Do you still have this love for me? It's a question a lot of us have to ask. Do our kids feel like they need to be something in order to get our love? And indirectly, I felt like I had to do that. I did. I believe that I had to become something in order just to receive the foundation of love, And if I can help it, I didn't want that for anybody that came behind me, whether that be my brother, whether that be, of course, my kid, or anybody else younger than me, or anyone in the family. I did not want them to believe that they had to do something in order to receive my love. I believe I think that's the basics for it. I think it's just to give them that love. It's an unconditional love. I don't have to like everything you do. No. I don't have to like the shit that you've done to me. But as far as like my love for you won't be questioned. I may keep a distance if I find that you project your pain. That doesn't take away my love for you. It just shows my love for myself and my peace. And the common thing said is, it's not that I don't love you, I just love me more, right? And love in a sense of like self-care and healthy boundaries, not so much the egoic way of that, of saying I love me more. And I'm sure there's that for some of us too. But that's something that the judgment aspect of being able to accept people as they are, that was something that I wanted to unlearn. It's not for me to judge people. Like, you can just hear it in people's voices, how they, believe she's wearing that, believe she's gonna do that. Like, judgment, because you have it all figured out. We don't know enough. We don't know enough to be a pessimist. But you can't decide what's not for you. You don't have to put shame upon somebody else because it's something you wouldn't do. You're showing your limits, not theirs, But, yeah, belief or tradition that I wanted to unlearn. Learning to accept people learning to accept people as they are, and then figuring out where I was going to place them in my life. though that's a tradition, belief, if you will, that I had to unlearn. What's the hottest sex scene you've ever seen on TV or in a movie? I think about two scenes in particular. It's really short, but like Ray Allen and He Got Game, when he goes to do his character Jesus Shuttlesworth goes to visit the college. Like he's got these girls in the room with him, and no, they're just getting it in. Honestly, they're just getting it in. That was the whole point of that scene. They captured the emotion of that shit. And then I think about Baby Boy. I think about Baby Boy with Tyrese and Taraji P after she finished saying, I hate you. And then, he's talking about, it turns into, I love you, Jody, and, you're going to make them tacos, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think about those two scenes. I thought it was pretty hot, you know what I'm saying? As far as like for that, just the level of dominance, the femininity that comes out too, you know what I mean? Just that aggression. Again, a woman that was like his mom, you know what I mean? Definitely that he certainly was the definition of a beta male in that movie Baby Boy, but that was the whole point of the movie. But yeah, when I'd say, when he was tearing that ass up, in that one particular scene, practically putting her to sleep, if you will. And then of course, Jesus Shuttlesworth getting it in with the girls that were in his room on He Got Game. How do you make peace with the concept of mortality and the idea that time is constantly passing? Well, I believe I was living an illusion about time. I believe I like most of us, believe we had more time about stuff. And then you look up and you see your parents in your 60s, your grandma's in her 80s, one of them is 90, and your kid is damn near 25. And like the people that were young at one point in time have gotten older. They're teenagers, they're 18. And your friends, we're not the same 22-year-olds that we were in the military. Now we're 40s, we're in our 40s. And, some still lingering, getting close to 40. But the time, yeah, you think you got more time, but there's, tomorrow's not promised. And it's like each day is a separate life, and learning to live in the present moment. I think that's how I cope with that, is living in the present moment and trying or do my best to not be so far into the future, and definitely not so much stuck in the past. I mean, the past it's gone. That's it. There's nothing. There's a memory of it. There's a memory of the past. There's trauma. And you don't forget how you felt on certain things, but it's not in the now. And a lot of us are suffering from ghosts. I know for me for sure, I've been afraid of Casper's ass for a long time. My past, all of it, just allowing the past to prevent me from living in the future. So much time goes by, and you don't believe you got the help to get through that. People that dismiss your trauma, dismiss how you feel about shit. And so you end up trying to just protect yourself the entire time. And then you think everything is sweet, and then you get triggered, and then it's like, oh shit, here we go. I'm back in the same shit once again, where I gotta protect myself from everything and everybody. So shut out the world. And time passes by. It just keeps going by. And you just don't know. You just don't know what, you just don't know when it's gonna happen. You don't know when who's going to be, you know, whose number's going to get called next inside your family, inside your friend group, whatever that is. And sometimes you get close calls and you don't realize how much people cheat death. I can say that recently I've seen that occur in my family where family members cheating death. Obviously getting older, but cheating death could have been gone. But thankfully people acted in a timely manner and allowed them to be here just a little while longer with us. But the concept of time and just accepting that it's going to happen for all of us. I mean, I think recently I was listening to somebody talk about like what would happen if nobody died and how overpopulated the earth would be. So it's all going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just the earth's way of taking care of itself, you know. The number's going to get called at some point in time. And so just to live in it, whatever it is that has got your mind, you know, stuck on this particular issue. Is it worth it? Is it worth, you know, if you knew you were going to die tonight, was it still worth your thoughts? Is it still worth being in your head? And most of the time it isn't. But we can get full of ourselves. We can believe that we got so much time. We believe it. We do believe that we have so much time left, but we are on borrowed time. We're on very much borrowed time. We don't have but so many Christmases left with grandmothers for some of us, and you just break down the numbers on the average, you know, the average death of what that could be between 80 and 90. And hell, my grandma is 83. The other is turning 83, and then the other one is 90. So there's only so many. There's only so many Christmases, so many Thanksgivings, so many Mother's Days, so many whatever. You don't realize what's left. And yeah, they may have caused some trauma in their younger days, but you're not responsible what happened to you. You're responsible for how you allow it to affect you. And trauma is, you know, it's not something you can just, a lot of times you just get over it. You know, you have to learn how to reprogram your nervous system. And some of us never do. And we just stay like that, you know, almost our entire lives, you know, and just hold on to that venom for that person, people, whatever it is, forever. And they've gone on with their lives, you know. Meanwhile, we're still holding on, drinking the poison, waiting for them to get sick, you know. That's what holding a grudge is. But time waits for no one. It truly does. I believe it feels like yesterday that I was playing with toys with my cousin, and now we are in our 40s, you know, listening to DMX and Jay-Z on the radio and just loving that time frame. You know, me and my best friend T-Dot as kids, riding around the neighborhood on our bikes, and now we're grown and we're professionals, and you know what I'm saying? Like, time goes by. One minute you're getting your kid like SpongeBob shit, and you're like preparing for her, you know, her kid birthday party, and now she is, you know, she's grown. Time waits for no one. And there's a lot of choices that we make. Sacrifices. I mean, a lot of times you got those people that sacrificed going after what they love in order to have time with their kids based on how it was given to them. And then you have those that worked on having time with their kids, but they struggled. But at least they got to say that they were there with their kids. Time, man. You know, there's choices, time and choices. Mothers that work multiple jobs, sacrificing so that they can have what they need, but they don't get that time with their kids. You know, it's like it's a struggle, you know, for some of those single mothers, man, to do that. Single fathers too, same thing, of like putting it on the line, you know, whether you work overseas and you work in the desert and you want to be there for your kids, but you also got to provide for them. And that's a constant struggle, I believe. I believe it's a constant struggle for us, is figuring out how to provide and also be there at the same time. And the way the dice rolls, a lot of times you're not able to do both. And that's something you got to accept, and you got to take everything that comes with it. If that means your kids not feeling so close to you, and they're holding on to a grudge maybe with you because you weren't there. They felt like you weren't there. They felt like you didn't care. Now, granted, this is what they're feeling. Facts don't care about feelings, but these are their feelings of it. And time, like I said, time waits for no one. So it's like choices that must be made. But I think about making all that go full circle with this mortality thing. Is like, you're not gonna live forever. You might build a legacy that lasts forever, long enough. 100 years from now. I mean, who remembers shit that happened 100 years from now? Don't get me wrong. We just celebrated like Marilyn Monroe's birthday and some other people, Miles Davis and all that. But they get remembered, but it's not gonna matter. It's not. In a long scheme of things, long-term scheme of things, nothing matters. It doesn't. We decide what we give value to. Like, what was hot for us when we were teenagers is not the same shit that's hot for our kids and what they thought. You know what I mean? Hell, used to lose my shit to watch American Gladiators. I don't believe these kids can give a shit about American Gladiators or Nickelodeon Guts or any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you decide where the value goes with it. Perspective, really. Perspective. But time, man. Time waits for nobody. And all of us are going to go at some point in time. So it's about like how you want to enjoy the time spent here. So with time constantly moving, no matter how many times you sit still and be bummed about your life, time, yes, is still going to be fucking moving. So what do you want to do? You want to mope about some shit that's not going to change, or you want to be grateful for what you have and just live in the present moment? I mean, I think that's just the question we all have to ask sometimes, and be grateful for time. Yeah, just be grateful for time. So I think that's a solid point to conclude this episode. I want to thank everybody for listening, watching, subscribing, commenting, liking, loving, caring, whatever the other, emoji shit that's on Facebook that you're able to do for this show. It's much appreciated. Obviously share with whoever, to keep the conversation going and just to have thought-provoking conversation amongst ourselves, to disagree, whatever it is, whatever you want to use the show for, just make it known, make it, help the algorithm spread a little bit more. But I'm Romy Mac. This is Ask Rome, and I'm out. Good night, kids.